Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Added Time. My name is Nate. This is Mike. We're doing a bit of preseason content. We will start our weekly podcast for FPL on Wednesday, so be sure to catch that. But today we have a bit of a hot take video for you. We're talking about the hottest form players from the preseason. Preseason is now concluded, so Mike has compiled a bit of a list so we can sit and talk through who we think you need to be looking at for your Game Week 1 team.
And the first team on the top of the log, only by name. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to do about this because both of them are in form. And you tell me, Nate, Jesus or Havertz? Because both have about 4 goal involvements through the entire preseason. Both are on fire. Both have a bit of Arteta's trust. They're both solid. Who are you choosing? You can't take
It's
both.
so hard. It's so hard. I think we need to phone our friend Ridwan because he's the Arsenal fan.
I can tell you who he's got.
Who's he got? That'll help us. Havertz. Well, I was going to say to you, I think Arteta likes Havertz more than Jesus. So if that tips it in his favor, but again, you can't just knock Jesus. He's got 3 goals and an assist. So, like you say, they're both on form. Difficult to pick, but not a bad problem for Arsenal to have. Bad problem for us to have.
Next up is Aston Villa. Okay. And Rodgers is still there at a 5 million price bracket with 5 goals. But just don't forget about Bailey and Archer.
Yeah. Brighton, thoughts on Brighton? Lots of assists across the team.
First 3 fixtures, Everton away, Man United and Arsenal. So I don't look too closely at them. However, there's a player there that's new. His name is Minter. And he has 5 goal involvements over preseason. He is on fire. Right? Don't forget about Pantoma. He's in the goals, in the assists as well. But if you're looking for a budget player that might move forward, had a great preseason, it's Mentor. Now talking about Chelsea and their preseason form, Nkunku had a beautiful overhead kick that he didn't score a goal from. But Madueke is also in the goals. But then Palmer came in to replace him in the second half. So you tell me if those are going to be FPL choices for you. But Nkunku and Madueke from preseason form are the best Chelsea players.
Yeah.
What do you think about Palace? Any players in there that stand out to you?
Just Edouard, just because of he was being there before and he was kind of a familiar name among the assists and goals. 2 goals, 2 assists, nothing too crazy. An interesting point in a defender getting 3 goals and 2 assists in Schlupp. Very weird. Wouldn't expect that, but someone to look out for.
He also he kind of plays like a wingback role, and he used to do that same role. I remember him when he was at Leicester City in that winning team.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while, so yeah, I'd also take a look at him. Big player in the news, Robinson, and from a defender's point of Fulham, but also Smith Rowe, moving from Arsenal, scoring 2 goals in the 2 games he played so far. He's definitely someone who I was on the Muniz train, but I throw Smith Rowe in because they're having a good preseason, and a defender, Robinson, fullback, having 2 assists. That's good numbers.
Yeah.
Are you Team Salah, bro?
I am Team Salah. 1 goal, 2 assists. He's in my team. I don't think I'm going to take him out. I haven't really built a team without him yet. So he's up there out of all the Liverpool assets. You can go Elliott, who's also got some assists, and Jota. People are saying Nunez is coming back, but who cares about Nunez? Nunez can't hit the target if it was right in front of him. In fact, he missed the target when it was right in front of him anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I would go Salah.
Jota's doing well as well. On top of that, but one player to look out for is Elliott, who's had a really good preseason. He's played most of their matches, and I think that as a budget into Liverpool's midfield, Elliott is going to be a pick. I know someone who's got him in. You know who you are.
Yeah. But now, Man City. We're not going to say Haaland because we all know Haaland's had a great season. There's this another person that we will talk about soon that's been doing well for Man City. You want to tell us a bit about him?
His name is Bob.
The Builder. Not really.
Well, he's gonna build Man City playing the next winning the next Premier League. That's for sure. This guy is on fire. In preseason, he has been scoring goals for fun. He has played most of the games. He's almost what Palmer could have been at City if he had stayed. Okay, he's got that tough fixture against Chelsea. Man City players are still coming back. He's just on fire, and he's got goals in him. He looks solid, and I think Pep's gonna is going to trust him. He's got such good fixtures. And in preseason, he's looked so good. With 4 assists and 2 goals in a Man City team, if you need a 5 million midfielder, Bob's your one. Bob's your guy.
Yep, there we go.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. There you go. Straight to the rival, the other side of Manchester. Got Diallo and Rashford. Surprise, surprise, Rashford's on the score sheet again. Does that mean he's returned? Does that mean his form's back?
Haaland is not going to start the season.
Yeah, he's
Doesn't
injured
look like
now.
he's ready for game week 1. So that means that if you're looking at their preseason games and they haven't signed another striker, it looks like Rashford might play in that 9 role until Haaland comes back. But Diallo is playing right wing, and he's got 2 goals and an assist, and he looks good. In a Man United team that have good fixtures aside from that Liverpool game. So if you wanted, again, 5 million in, good preseason from him. And Newcastle, there's a person on fire that has snuck their way into people's draft because he scored 5 goals and 3 assists, and at 5.5, I'm just thinking now I want to take out Smith Rowe for him. Flippin' Murphy at 5.5. Are we missing something on Murphy? Have you heard of him?
Jacob Murphy. What's it? 5 goals, 3 assists, 5.5 mil.
That's insane.
The goal a mil.
The problem is that he's starting alongside, is it him or Almiron who starts? And you got Harvey Barnes. So you got Almiron, Harvey Barnes, Murphy, and Gordon, all 4 of them, and 2 of them get to play.
Yeah. Who is it?
So and it seems like Gordon and Barnes are fighting on the left, and Almiron and Murphy are fighting on the right. So the question remains and see who actually starts. That's the only downside. Just a quick remark there on Isak. He does have 3 goals from preseason. He is the most bought FPL asset right now.
56% owned, yeah. So I think he's going to be in a lot of people's teams to start the season with, yeah.
And Forest, yeah. Tell me about the player you have in your team.
Oh, the old Chelsea boy. Got to back him, eh? Hudson-Odoi he's been doing well in preseason. Fair play to him. I know you don't really like him as a player, but he's got a goal, 3 assists. So fair play to him, along with his partner up front, good old Chris Wood, who was in a few teams for some points last season. 3 goals, 2 assists. So he's also been hauling in some points. Well, not points because it's preseason, but hauling in some goals for Forest. So yeah, if you're looking for anyone to fill out that budget midfield slot or maybe a budget forward slot, but to be honest, I think the forwards are pretty stacked. Speaking of forwards, we moved towards Southampton, newly promoted side. They got a forward who you quite like, Mike, because of the history of Southampton in Armstrong.
Yeah, Armstrong's got some FPL history. He's at 5.5, 3 goals in preseason. He does become an option, but as we've said earlier, the forwards are stacked.
Yeah,
and it is about like a whole lot of forwards you can choose before Armstrong. But just keep an eye on him. We've spoken at length about Spurs and how good they've been. And that's the tricky part of Spurs, is they've all been good. Son is on form with 3 goals and an assist. Brendan Johnson can come in with a goal and assist. Kuleveski just came with another 2 goals to add to his goals and assists. Porro as defender. I think the whole Spurs team.
Werner the afterburner's even throwing his hat in the mix.
So yeah, Spurs.
And now with the addition of Solanke, if you haven't seen it yet, go click on our Spurs. It's not going to be called a Spurs video. I don't know what we're going to call it, but go click on it. We talk about why Solanke is going to be such a good pick this season. But yeah.
And then just to round everything off, you tell me about Cunha, because a lot of people have him in their team. Is he worthy?
Oh, Mateus. Yeah, not bad. You see, the midfield positions are open for rotation. I think the forwards are pretty locked in. But between him and Gomez, it's good shouts. Gomez is edging it with the more goals in the preseason compared to Cunha. But, I mean, we always say it, and Wolves are normally the whipping boys. So, if you're looking for points...
beat like
yeah, and then they go beat the top flight teams.
I agree with that.
But us in the back, discredit our
But yeah,
podcast.
Gomez with 3 goals.
Yeah.
Cunha with 2 in preseason. So there is options if you are looking in to Wolves. And that wraps up the most important players for most of the teams for their preseason update. I hope you guys heard some names that are worth keeping an eye on.
I definitely heard some names.
Like, just to wrap up, which player stood out the most from you from pre-season, his form that's forcing him into your team?
Murphy.
Is it Murphy?
I'd need to know if he starts with. Okay, let me say it this way: a player that I'm looking to force his way into my team with, that I know that will probably start, is probably going to be Bob.
I was gonna say Bob. I was gonna say Bob for me.
Because Foden is still out. We had a bit of a chat about this earlier, and Foden's still out, and Bob is on fire. He's going to play. So I was, as soon as I saw that, I was like, how do I get Bob? The other one, I'll give the clarification. The other one was Murphy, just because 5 goals and 3 assists is nothing to be shy about. That is insane. The problem, like you say, is he's contending with Almiron. So who does Eddie Howe pick? But Bob the Builder is going to build Man City to the next title.
And Bob's 5.5 cheaper than Murphy, than Robinson.
You said it. You said it. He is what Cole Palmer would have been for City right now. So
it'll be, if he starts that game, there's points for him.
Yeah,
the problem is that, is he going to start the next game? Is he going to start the next game? Is he going to? I think he can start against Chelsea.
Back, does he start it all? Yeah.
Like there's, I think, and that's the unfortunate part. We'll have to see how City actually line up. And the problem is,
while Foden is out, so it's worth looking at.
Foden's only going to be out for a game more max, I would say. That's my problem with Bob. But he's enabling us to build much better teams. Agree?
He is. Like I say, we looked at it and I was like, damn, this kid, gotta have him in my team. Gotta have him.
But that was your pre-season wrap-up, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, FPL enthusiasts. Hopefully you picked up some points for making points for the next couple of game weeks ahead. So, but form over fixture. Remember that.
Yep, form over fixture. Always. Stay on the lookout. There will be a video tomorrow evening UK, tomorrow morning if you live in America and Canada. Time zone gap. Where we talk about... I'm not going to tell you because it's a surprise. So you have to click tomorrow.